We grow up learning that kindness is a virtue, that we should be selfless, generous, and considerate of others. Society praises those who put others first, who lend a helping hand without expecting anything in return. However, being too kind can be dangerous. Mark regularly bought coffee for his coworkers and helped with personal issues, but received no support in return, leaving him drained both financially and emotionally. Be surprised by the bad things that can happen to you when you're kind. When Tom consistently covered for his colleagues, he unknowingly jeopardized his work-life balance, causing skyrocketing stress that impacted his mental health. Today, I'll share 8 negative outcomes of excessive niceness, illustrated by real-world examples. Let's move on to number 1. You may develop unrealistic expectations of others. The Stoics remind us to accept reality as it is and not to rely on others for our happiness. In family dynamics, catering to the needs of siblings or children without expressing your own can create an imbalance. A parent who always sacrifices time for their kids might feel resentful when their own needs go unacknowledged. We often struggle with being completely selfless, even when giving. Consider a friendship where you consistently pay for dinners. At first, friends may appreciate this, but they might later assume you'll always cover the costs. When we give everything, we can inadvertently expect others to reciprocate the same level of generosity. When we need something crucial, like support during a personal crisis, we've conditioned people to rely on us. They might assume we can handle everything for them as well as our own issues. For example, you might need help moving, only to find your friends absent, having relied on your past assistance. If you neglect your own needs, why would anyone else take notice? A friend who constantly asks for favors may lead you to resent them, feeling burdened while they rely on your kindness. The Stoics remind us that true worth comes from acting in a good and logical manner, not just pleasing others. Moderation in giving allows you to maintain control over your actions and protect your mental health. Consider a parent who tries to fulfill every desire of their children without setting boundaries. Over time, this may breed entitlement in the kids and exhaustion in the parent. You've heard your whole life that people are creatures of habit, and this couldn't be more true. When consistently doing favors for friends, you may find they expect your assistance without gratitude, straining the friendship. By occasionally saying no or establishing limits, you can foster a healthier dynamic where kindness is valued and boundaries are respected. The concept of the comfort zone stems from a desire to change. In a family dynamic, if a parent endlessly accommodates their children's demands, it seems loving but prevents the children from developing independence. They become so reliant on their parents' kindness that they never learn to tackle challenges independently. This means that if you're always giving, others will expect it continuously. For example, if one friend consistently pays for meals, the other may see this as the norm. When the generous friend wants to rotate who pays, it can lead to misunderstandings and hurt feelings, showcasing the pitfalls of excessive kindness. You'll lead others into their comfort zones, allowing them to avoid responsibilities because you'll take care of them. For instance, a manager who resolves all team conflicts may seem supportive, but this can hinder the team's ability to handle disputes independently, fostering dependency that stunts their growth. If you don't value yourself, it's unlikely others will either. In family dynamics, a caregiver who neglects their own health to care for others may go unappreciated until they face health issues. This highlights the importance of self-care. Neglecting it can lead to burnout and resentment. At least don't expect empathy from those you help. They may prioritize their own needs over yours. For instance, community volunteers often find that when they need support, those they've helped are absent. This illustrates that while generosity is crucial, expecting reciprocity can lead to disappointment. Moreover, your goals may be overlooked. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living by reason and virtue, setting limits, and prioritizing our responsibilities to maintain balance and protect our identity and well-being. Self-care is crucial for maintaining health. When overwhelmed at work, constantly volunteering for others often leads to late hours and neglected personal projects. This can result in missed deadlines and reduced productivity. It underscores that before helping others, ensuring your own well-being is essential. Like, think of someone who always brings cupcakes to the office, yet never treats themselves. When they feel left out during lunch conversations, it highlights the importance of indulging in your happiness first, just like enjoying a chocolate before sharing it. Similarly, let's consider friendships. Neglecting your own needs can turn generosity into resentment. The world can wait, but remember the time a family member asked for a loan and you readily gave up your savings? While your intent was kind, it left you struggling with your bills and exposed the pitfalls of excessive kindness. People may take your generosity for weakness, expecting continued help without understanding your sacrifices. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and boundaries. For instance, a professional who learns to say no to last-minute requests after hours ultimately earns greater respect from clients, as they realize this commitment enhances service quality. By setting limits, we assert our dedication to our responsibilities, demonstrating strength rather than weakness. Conversely, consistently overextending ourselves to help others can lead to being viewed as overly accommodating. When you don't set limits, people may view you as weak, similar to someone who opposes authority but lacks assertiveness, and you to sidestep their responsibilities. In the workplace, employees who struggle to say no may end up overwhelmed by extra tasks, risking burnout and lowered morale. However, asserting boundaries can shift perceptions significantly. When someone learns to decline requests, others may initially be surprised but eventually respect their individuality and assertiveness. You'll encounter people who only approach you during difficult times. For example, a friend who connects solely in crises may create a one-sided friendship, leading to disappointment and feelings of isolation. Stoicism teaches us the value of being wise and discerning. A wise mentor might share that they learned to balance kindness with assertiveness after facing exploitation in their career, empowering them to choose their contributions judiciously. By exercising self-control and perspective in our choices, we can differentiate between genuine relationships and those wishing to take advantage of us, ensuring we don't waste our time or energy. Sometimes, people who once considered you a good friend may only reach out during crises, prompting us to question their intentions. What's going on with you makes sense, but that doesn't mean it's fair. Fairness is often lacking in relationships, especially when excessive kindness can result in exploitation or resentment. You need to learn how to handle the methods I'll share to protect yourself. By embracing Stoicism and setting clear boundaries, you'll cultivate respect and healthy relationships. Sixth, you'll only attract those who want something and rarely those who wish to give. For instance, consider employees who often stay late to assist colleagues. Initially, this builds team spirit, but over time, they may feel undervalued, resulting in resentment. The Stoics teach that with measured judgment, we can foster authentic relationships beneficial for both parties. Picture a family member who lends money but offers no emotional support. This creates a transactional relationship devoid of true connection. People enter our lives because their energies resonate with ours. If our energy is low, we might draw in negative individuals like friends who drain our energy without reciprocation. Conversely, high vibrations attract those filled with positivity and joy, exemplified by a supportive circle of friends that cultivates enriching opportunities. Consequently, when we overextend ourselves by giving to everyone, we diminish our energy and lower our frequency. Volunteering for every event while neglecting personal needs can lead to exhaustion and a sense of unappreciation, making us magnets for needy individuals or opportunists who take without giving back. A common scenario is a friendship where one person constantly demands favors but rarely assists in return, creating imbalance. You could become caught in a cycle, similar to how individuals may rely on caffeine due to work stress, resulting in unhealthy habits. Stoicism promotes calmness and self-control. Practicing self-discipline allows us to say no to draining commitments, preventing the formation of bad habits and nurturing a healthy relationship with our choices. When scarcity pervades our lives, the yearning for validation can lead to risky behaviors just to feel included. For example, Those who frequently attend social events to stave off loneliness might develop a dependency on alcohol. Pay close attention to what someone who cares about you says, as your instinct may be to dismiss their concerns. Remember that those who care for you truly want what's best, so heed their advice. In family dynamics, a parent might believe that gifting material possessions expresses love, but this can foster entitlement, teaching the child that love is tied to things rather than true connection. This representation encourages a re-evaluation of balance in relationships. Stoicism teaches us to act rightly, regardless of others' perceptions. By aligning our actions with our principles, we cultivate an image resilient to criticism. A business leader noted for fairness might face backlash during restructuring, but their established integrity will likely earn them employee loyalty in tough times, showcasing how authentic kindness nurtures trust. Yet, it's crucial to acknowledge that excessive kindness can lead to challenges. A friend who always takes on others' burdens may become isolated as reliance on them grows without mutual support, illustrating the delicate balance between kindness and self-neglect. The truth is that kind people are rare, which can lead to suspicion. For instance, in a workplace, an employee who habitually helps others may initially be appreciated, but might later be seen as having ulterior motives, especially if they seek recognition. This suspicion can shift kindness into a source of doubt about their true intentions. Now let's look at what you can do to stop people from taking advantage of you. Consider setting boundaries. For instance, if a friend regularly asks for favors that strain your time and resources, communicate your limits clearly. I'd love to help, but I need to prioritize my own projects for now. Strategy number 1. Pay attention to how you feel. It's telling you something. If feelings of resentment arise, like with a coworker sharing the burden of a task, reflect on those emotions. Are you feeling overwhelmed due to overcommitment? Acknowledging this can help you address it constructively. Based on the Stoic idea of self-awareness, consider a time you took on extra work to assist colleagues. Initially, you might have felt fulfilled, but over time, the added workload became stressful. The Stoics emphasize the importance of understanding your feelings and wants. Imagine a friend who frequently calls to vent about their problems. Although you care, their negativity can drain your energy. By being aware of your feelings, you can determine if you're overextending yourself. Such experiences help you recognize when your kindness shifts from support to an emotional burden. This awareness allows you to find a better balance. For example, setting boundaries, like limiting time spent listening to their concerns, can help you recharge and safeguard your emotional health. How do you feel when helping others? Reflect on moments when your generosity was reciprocated versus those that led to feelings of resentment. Prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It fosters a positive environment where your kindness can thrive. So if you feel too busy, tired, angry, or used, it's important to listen to those feelings. Consider how the help you provide impacts your health. Don't be afraid to say no. In a workplace example, a dedicated employee may begin taking on extra projects, initially praised for their eagerness. However, this can lead to overwhelm and burnout. Conversely, when a colleague declines additional tasks during peak times, they can sustain performance, highlighting the necessity of setting clear boundaries. Following the lessons of the Stoics, it is crucial to recognize that time and energy must be balanced. Consider a friend who often organizes social events. While their generosity fosters connections, it can lead to resentment if unappreciated. By stepping back and delegating planning responsibilities, they not only alleviate their stress but also promote community involvement, showing how self-care enhances relationships. Self-control involves knowing when to say no, particularly when overwhelmed or faced with unfair requests. For instance, a parent might consistently help with children's activities, sacrificing their own time. Realizing this leads to frustration, but by declining certain commitments like unnecessary coaching roles, they regain time for personal interests and return to their family rejuvenated. Even though the word no often evokes negative feelings, it's common to struggle with saying it. Many fear upsetting friends by declining invitations, which can lead to overcommitment and exhaustion. However, when one musters the courage to decline a party invitation, they often find that it fosters respect among peers and emphasizes the importance of prioritizing mental and physical well-being. If we don't learn to say no when demands exceed our capacity, pessimism can invade our lives. Practice in front of the mirror, reminding yourself that it's the path to regaining your freedom and reducing risks. Visual rehearsal of setting boundaries boosts confidence, creating a more enjoyable atmosphere at family gatherings. Strategy 3: your time and space are essential. Respect them. Adhering to Stoic values of self-discipline and respect, allocate time for self-care. Do what you like, whether it's exercise, drawing, or listening to music while enjoying a cup of tea. Make it integral to your routine. Emily set a recurring calendar event for me time every Saturday morning dedicated to yoga and reading. By communicating this to her friends and family, they began to respect her boundaries. When a colleague interrupted her yoga session seeking help, she politely declined, reinforcing the importance of personal well-being. This taught them to honor personal boundaries. So, without remorse, you tell them no and enjoy that time and space just for yourself. If being direct feels too harsh, consider offering help at a later date, making it clear that your availability is limited due to other commitments. Strategy number 4: identify energy vampires and distance yourself from them, following Stoic principles of self-discipline and wisdom. For example, Michelle recognized that regular meetings with a friend who constantly complained left her feeling drained. After noticing this, she limited their get-togethers and focused instead on relationships that uplift her spirit. It's essential to discern which connections energize you and which contribute to mental fatigue. By distancing yourself from those who drain your energy, you're prioritizing your health and demonstrating Stoic self-control in relationships. Laura learned this lesson after several months of supporting a friend steeped in negativity. Realizing she felt worse after their conversations, she chose to distance herself, ultimately fostering healthier relationships based on mutual support rather than one-sided negativity. These people overwhelm you with their endless complaints and negative outlook on life. A colleague frequently shares grievances about their workload and dissatisfaction with management. Initially, you listen, but over time, their negativity affects your motivation. Attempts to help often go unrecognized. After dedicating an entire lunch break to finding solutions, they revert to old complaints the very next day. That's the nature of such individuals. In conclusion, Stoic wisdom teaches that finding a middle ground is essential, including in generosity. Strive for balance between meeting others' needs and honoring your own. In friendships, it's important to establish boundaries when someone expects you to be there for emotional support. Remember the word no when they insist on driving you home or sharing their latest drama during your busy times. Prioritizing your own well-being is essential, even if it feels uncomfortable. These strategies can enhance your relationships while ensuring your needs are met. We've reached the end of this journey, and I hope these tips prove useful. Reflect on how these situations manifest in your daily life and where you might redefine your boundaries. You're a crucial part of this channel, so if this video has resonated with you or offered new insights, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for daily doses of Stoic wisdom and personal growth.